Emily Monroe was not the kind of person who believed in ghost stories or the supernatural. In fact, her life was guided by logic and reason, the bedrocks of her career as a forensic psychologist. But her latest assignment was different. It demanded not just her expertise, but a certain openness to the unknown. Nestled deep in the foggy outskirts of Ravens Hollow was an abandoned railway station, echoing with tales of the enigmatic last passenger. The mystery of the haunted train platform had captured the public's imagination for over a century, becoming the locus for thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Emily, however, was sent to demystify these tales, requested by the local authorities to put an end to the incessant hysteria. The station, once a bustling hub during the height of industrialization, now lay dormant under layers of grime and memories. Its majestic Victorian architecture loomed ominously, battered by time, but defiantly standing. The town folklore whispered about a train that never left, one that appeared only on the nights of the full moon, its sole passenger forever waiting for a journey that would never commence. This legend, many claimed, was the remnant of a tragedy, the unsolved disappearance of a young girl named Eliza Hawthorne over 100 years ago. Her name was painted into the fabric of Ravens Hollow, as indelibly as the blackened soot that stained the station's walls. With her long auburn hair tied back into a practical ponytail and a notebook in hand, Emily set foot on the platform for the first time. The chill in the air seemed to bite deeper than the average autumn wind, clawing through her coat as if the whispers of the past were trying to peel away the layers of her skepticism. A long sigh escaped her lips, a visible puff in the chilly air as she surveyed her surroundings. The vast emptiness was disturbed only by the distant cawing of crows, their black silhouettes darting across the ashen sky. The first person she met was Stephen Holloway, the town's local historian and self-proclaimed caretaker of the station. His eyes gleamed with an enthusiasm that belied his age, the kind of fervor only someone with unwavering belief in the stories could possess. "It's more than just a ghost story, Miss Monroe," he asserted, his wrinkled hands gesturing wildly as they wandered the platform. "It's history, blood and bones mixed with steel and smoke, a tragedy woven into the iron tracks themselves. Yet there's no evidence Eliza Hawthorne ever existed beyond this tale," Emily replied, her voice steady but soft, as though trying to tread lightly over his hopes. "Evidence. It's there if you know where to look," Stephen countered cryptically, his eyes narrowing with a knowing glint. Despite her doubts, there was something about Stephen's conviction that unnerved her, as though he was privy to secrets she could never grasp. As night descended, casting long shadows that seemed to dance with the flickering lamplight, Emily prepared for her first overnight investigation. The platform was eerily silent, the only sound the rhythmic tap of her pen against her notebook. Yet beneath the silence, she felt an undercurrent of anticipation, as if the very air was holding its breath. It wasn't long before she met Claire, the town's detective, a pragmatic woman whose cold demeanor was only softened by her fierce dedication to truth. "I've been trying to shut this place down for years," Claire admitted, her eyes scanning the platform as if daring it to betray its secrets. "People come here claiming to see things, hear things. It only fuels the hysteria." "What do you believe?" Emily inquired, curious about the woman whose skepticism rivaled her own. Claire paused, a rare flicker of doubt crossing her features. "I believe in what I can see, touch, and prove. But," she hesitated, her voice dropping to a near whisper, "I've never stayed past midnight." With the moon hanging like a pale sentinel above them, Emily decided to break the pattern. Midnight came and went, the ticking of her watch barely audible over the hushed tension that enveloped the station. Just as she began to question the futility of her vigil, a sound broke the silence, a distant whistle. echoing through the fog with eerie clarity. Emily's heart quickened, not from fear, but an inexplicable curiosity that urged her forward. The fog parted like a curtain, revealing the impossible. A train gleaming under the moonlight, its steam hissing like an awakened serpent. Emily watched, entranced, as the doors slid open with a mechanical groan. "I've seen it," a voice shouted. It was Stephen, his eyes alight with a manic glee as he pointed towards the train. "It's real!" Before Emily could respond, a figure stepped out from the train. A young girl dressed in an antiquated gown, her eyes wide with a longing that transcended time. Emily's breath caught in her throat. This was Eliza, the girl at the heart of the mystery. Yet, as the fog coalesced around the scene, her form seemed to flicker like a candle in the wind. Emily approached cautiously, aware of the weight of the moment. "Eliza," she called softly, "why are you here?" The girl turned, her expression an amalgam of sadness and relief. "I was waiting," she replied, her voice a whisper barely audible over the simmering steam. "I was waiting for someone to see me, to help me find my way." As Emily reached out, the station blurred, shifting like a mirage on the verge of vanishing. Stephen watched with rapt attention, his voice echoing Emily's thoughts. "Sometimes the past isn't just a memory. It's a fragment seeking closure." In that instant, the truth crystallized. Eliza's spirit was trapped, bound to the station by the weight of her unresolved fate. Yet, what began as a psychological analysis had morphed into something far more profound. Emily realized that her role was not just to debunk a myth, but to reconcile a soul with its history. Guided by empathy rather than expertise, she engaged with Eliza, weaving a narrative of understanding that transcended centuries. The station seemed to exhale, the atmosphere shifting as Eliza's form solidified, her features relaxing as if finally at peace. The fog retreated, the oppressive silence giving way to a serene tranquility that had eluded the station for so long. It was in that moment of clarity that Emily understood the power of belief. Not in ghosts, but in the human capacity to connect, to heal what has been forgotten or ignored. Claire, witnessing the inexplicable scene, found her own beliefs challenged. The evidence was undeniable, not just in sight, but in the palpable shift in energy that enveloped the station. "Well," she remarked, a hint of begrudging admiration lacing her tone, "I guess some mysteries aren't meant to be solved, only understood." Yet, as Eliza's apparition finally faded, a realization struck Emily with chilling clarity. This revelation was not the ending, but merely a beginning, a piece of a larger tapestry woven by time and human experience. The last passenger was not just a girl, but the embodiment of all unresolved stories yearning for closure. And Emily, driven by newfound purpose, knew her journey had only just begun. As she departed the station, the echoes of history lingering behind, Emily carried with her the realization that some truths lie not in books or records, but in the silent spaces between heartbeats and whispers. The last passenger was a testament to the power of stories, each one a thread linking the past with the present, illuminating the darkest corners of the human psyche with the light of understanding. The experience left Emily with more questions than answers, yet in a paradoxical twist, it was this very uncertainty that offered a strange sense of comfort. For in accepting the unknown, she had embraced the essence of life itself, a journey marked not by the destination, but by the stories we encounter along the way. The platform of Raven's Hollow, once an emblem of mystery, now stood as a monument to the enduring connection between worlds seen and unseen, a bridge between the living and the echoes of what once was.